Hey everyone, it's Miss Stokes, and we are going to talk today about how you might organize your folders in Google Drive. This is a really important thing to do because you got 4 years here at high school, and over those 4 years, you're literally going to create hundreds, if not thousands, of documents. And after a while, those documents are going to get lost and muddled and confused if you haven't been properly organizing and titling them. So let's talk about how we might approach this. So the first thing that you want to do is go to Google Drive. So you'll notice that I have my drive in my bookmarks, my bookmark bar, so that I can get to it really easily. But if you've never gone to Google Drive before, if you don't know how to locate it, I'm just going to show you really quickly. So just search Google Drive, not Google Driver. Search Google Drive, and then you'll see a couple options. You can just select Google Drive, and it will prompt you to choose an account. Make sure that you're using your school account. So you'll see that this is my school account, Jessica Stokes, jstokes@rthighschool.org. So I select my school account, and you can ensure that it's your school account by making sure that if you look at your icon up here and hover over it, you can see that it's your school account. And again, if it's not your school account, please switch over to that school account before creating your folders. Now, how do you get to Google Drive from here? You'll want to go to this square made out of dots and select Drive. So again, you'll go here to this little dotty square thingy-majig up in the upper right, select Drive, and that opens Google Drive for you. So you can see here that I have my own folder system that I've set up and some unfiled documents. Shame on you, Miss Stokes. But yeah, I have some documents I still need to file, but I do have a filing system here. And I'm going to go to sample folder where I have set up what you guys are going to do today. So in your Google Drive, you're going to set up folders for each of your classes. And I've set up an example here. So this student, they have their classes 1 through 7. They have them numbered, so it's in the order that they have the periods during the day, and they have the titles of their classes. So how can you create folders for each of your classes? So what you're going to do is you're going to right click on your mouse, and it will bring up this series of options. And you want to click on the first option, which is New Folder. So you click on New Folder, and then you create the folder for your first period class. So you type 1 for first period, dot, space, and then type in what your first period class is. So I'm going to use the example for math. And that creates my first period math folder. And so that's how you create a folder. So again, now I would move on to create my second period folder. I right click, I click New Folder, I type 2 for second period, dot, space, and I type the name of my second period class, and I click Create. And you'll do that 7 times to create a folder for each of your classes. And voila, you now have a filing system where you can easily file all of your digital documents for each of your class to help them become more accessible. So that's kind of the baseline. This is the thing you should absolutely definitely do to help yourself out. Now, there are a couple more layers of organization that you might choose to do. For instance, let me go into my 4th period English class. So I know for a fact that your English class is set up into units. So you might, for instance, within your English folder, create another series of folders for each of your units. So you might put Unit 1, Lord of the Flies, or maybe Unit 1, Romeo and Juliet. It just depends on what your first unit is for your class. But let's say Unit 1 was Lord of the Flies. I would create a folder for that, and now I can put all of my Unit 1 materials in this folder. And so it helps me more easily find the things that I want. I know I have my English class, I know I have my Unit 1, and then later on in the year, I'll create my Unit 2, Romeo and Juliet. And then this keeps things a little more organized so that I can find them more easily. So this is a way you can do 2 layers of organization. Now, you don't want to get too many layers of organization because you'll have to click on folder after folder after folder after folder just to get to where you want to go. But having 2 and sometimes 3 layers of folders can help you with organizing. Now, let's go into our Unit 1 Lord of the Flies folder. So, say I have to create a document to write my essay for Lord of the Flies. We want to make sure when we create a new document, the very first thing we do is we go up here to where it says Untitled Document. An error that a lot of students make is that they leave this untitled document and they write a super awesome essay that they plan to turn in for an A++. And then they close out their essay and they go and do a bunch of things. Now, since we just have one document, it's easy to find my untitled document essay. But imagine if in this folder I had 20 documents, or maybe even 100 documents. Suddenly, this untitled document becomes really hard to find. Also, if I try to search for it, untitled document, what I'm going to get is a bunch of untitled documents that I'm going to have to search through in order to find the one that I really want. Yikes. That's not really what I'm looking to do with my time. And so what happens is if you don't title your documents, they can get lost in this slew of other untitled documents. And then this super awesome essay that you wrote, you can't turn in because you can't find it. And that's really frustrating. So what we're going to do instead is let me open up this untitled document and save myself some misery. So instead, I want to title it something that's going to help me find it later on, just in case I lose it in my folder system. So if this is my Lord of the Flies essay, I might type Lord of the Flies essay. It's that simple. So I want to have some clear identifiers. So Lord of the Flies is the book that I was reading for it. Essay is the type of assignment it is. I might even put English and my teacher's last name, Wise. And so what this does is the more search terms you put into the title, the more ways you'll be able to find it should it get lost. So for instance, now if I search English essay, it pops up because it's hitting on 2 of my words in there. If I type in Wise, my teacher's last name, Lord of the Flies, again, it's the first thing that pops up. And so by creating this really good title, it allows for me to have easier searches when I'm trying to find something specific. And so you want to make sure that you're putting in words into your title that will help you in the future should you ever need to find this. So let's back up a little. And so now I have my essay nicely titled. Say I then have a homework assignment. So I create my document. And so say for homework, I need to complete a reading guide. So I might put English Wise Reading Guide, Lord of the Flies. And again, as you can see, there's lots of short search terms in here that would help me locate my reading guide in a variety of ways. I could just search Lord of the Flies. I could just search reading guide, and that would probably narrow it down a bit. I could search Wise and reading guide, and it's going to help me get to this homework assignment should it ever get lost in my drive. And so those are the different ways you can keep yourselves really organized. So way 1 is make sure you set up folders for each of your classes. Way 2 is within the folders for your classes, you might create a second layer of folders for your specific units. And way number 3 is when you create your documents within your folders, make sure you're titling them in a smart way that will allow for you to easily search them later on in your drive. That way they don't get lost in the hundreds to thousands of documents you'll have by your senior year. All right, guys, I hope that helped you kind of think through how you should organize your Google Drive to help you out for today and also to help out future you. If you have any questions, please feel to G-chat me or ask your seminar teacher, and they'll be able to give you lots of support. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.